Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here. It is 9 o'clock on Saturday night, and we are doing a Google Hangout here streamed on YouTube. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Report. And so far, I am so ready to get the Dallas Cowboy game off and running. I'm sick of all of the talk that we've had this week. It seems like it's been forever since we've actually had a game. It was just Sunday, but it just seems like it's been forever. It just seems like there's so much drama between Jerry Jones and how it was taken and misunderstood. It's just kind of crazy how the Dallas Cowboys at 11-2 are a disaster right now, by the way all the talking heads are talking, and all the people that were on the Dak Prescott bus are now off the Dak Prescott bus. It's just kind of crazy. But you know what cures all of this? A win. And I'm looking for the Dallas Cowboys to bounce back against Tampa Bay tomorrow night. So I'm excited as can be that, we're finally getting this live streaming stuff together. And tonight I'm actually going to be taking some calls from you guys. So we'll see how that goes. Now, please do me a favor now. You can watch any channel out there. There's EDP and his profanity-laced, videos and everything else, and that's fine and good, and that has its place. But that's not the place that's here. So when you do call in, be a legitimate call. Don't come in and just try and do something stupid or crazy and all that, because again, that's not what this is about. We have some young people that follow and watch this thing, as well as people older than me. So we have a wide audience, and we're beginning to get, fellas, some of the ladies. So please treat the ladies with some respect. So you guys have any questions about the Dallas Cowboys or any thoughts that you may have about them, how you feel about the game, let me know what you guys think. I'm feeling pretty good about where we stand as far as a team. We win this one. We basically lock people that follow and watch this, lock up a playoff spot. Lock up hopefully our division, and hopefully we can finally get home field advantage throughout. Because I think part of the problem with the New York Giants game was the fact that the Cowboys were playing on the road, their second road game in a row after playing in Minnesota, in bad weather. Right now, the Dallas Cowboys actually, for once in a very long time, have a home field advantage playing at AT&T, and I would like to see them play there throughout the playoffs. So we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, EDP is a crybaby, that's without a doubt. And we should definitely go. If you watched my video earlier today about how the Dallas Cowboys end up winning, that's exactly what I said. Tampa Bay is more susceptible to the run versus the pass. And I think if we end up getting ourselves back on track, feeding the ball to Zeke Elliott, that will be great. Thanks for loving the show, Victoria. Don't take a call from Lee. Okay, well, all right. Is that troll still a part of the show here? Well, again, shock value works, so that's why EDP has a big following of things. So I've watched his videos a couple of times. Oh my goodness, Jobu needs a refill here. I've watched his videos a couple of times, and it's funny for a couple of minutes, but you can't just keep watching and watching. Your brain will just literally turn to mush if you do. And I see our dog is down here. Hello, Simba. That's my wife's dog, and that dog and I basically are at war with each other for her attention. But be that as it may. But EDP, I'm not mad at him. He's got well over 100,000 followers, subscribers and stuff, and it's a train wreck. But I just can't watch that for too long. My brain goes dead. I keep trying to do better with this show, try and improve it, do things that hopefully will make you guys want to watch it and stuff. And that's where I look for you guys for a little advice and opinions on what you'd like to see and so on. Well, I'm glad I got you hooked, Rodney. Okay. Yeah, EDP. Yeah, like I said, I saw EDP a couple of years ago with Talk Trash Group, and it was fantastic the first couple of times because it's the Eagles fans basically suffering. But like I said, it just gets to be old. What are my thoughts going to postseason? Trying to get healthy would be my thoughts on the postseason. We're a little bit nicked up. We got DeMarcus Lawrence, who's got the back injuries, and I don't believe in resting players per se, as in taking the whole team off. But if you have guys that are nicked up like DeMarcus Lawrence, like Tyron Smith, who has been having some nagging injuries, you don't play them very much. You want them to get rest and be healthy to go into the playoffs. I'm hoping that we get Morris Claiborne back. Yeah, the Ronzapia is definitely, that is the good stuff. You definitely want to have these guys healthy as possible going into playoffs. Yeah, Shady Duke. Unfortunately, with Chaz Green going on IR, I was hoping that Chaz Green would come back and maybe take the spot from Doug Free, because Doug Free has just been lately, between the penalties, between the Ole blocks, as I like to say, because he's kind of like he's, waving a bull on through there. He is definitely a problem right now, because teams realize that's the spot to attack. You can't go through Tyron Smith. Go after Doug Free. So they're going to have to put a tight end down there to help them out, or see if we have somebody else who can play better there. If we lose this one, okay, don't put it out in the universe if we lose. Think positive. This whole site, the whole motto is karma and spreading the mojo. So we think positively. We look for the glass being half full and find the reasons why we'll win. We'll deal with the loss when they happen, but we think positive here. Well, Chaz has only been in the league 2 years, but yeah, he has been nicked up. And I have to agree that Tony, about Tony. Well, I don't know if you guys have heard. Well, some interesting news on Tony Romo is supposedly, the Cowboys are looking to make a trade because they want to get something in return. But kind of like what happened with DeMarcus Ware was kind of like, I would rather you release me so that way I can pick the team that I want to go to in my career. I've done all this stuff for you guys. I've been, the statesman for the team and stuff. So allow me to do that and get to a good place as opposed to be going someplace like Cleveland. And that's basically what Tony Romo has kind of said that he wants to do. And I've heard interesting spots would be Arizona, Denver, of course, and Miami. And Miami is kind of interesting because Miami has a really good defense, and the warm weather might suit Tony better than going someplace like Buffalo. Buffalo was interested in making a trade for him. Well, I'm not here to bash Tony Romo. Tony Romo has fantastic numbers. He's played great. And many years that he was playing, we didn't have a team around him. So, it's good and it's bad. You could be other teams that have had nobody at quarterback. Look at Cleveland since they became the Cleveland Browns again after the Cleveland Browns moved and became the Baltimore Ravens. There have been teams that haven't had a quarterback in like forever. I mean, the Washington Redskins are one that have gone through quarterbacks, like crazy. Kirk Cousins finally looks like he's a keeper, but you look since they won in the early 90s, they haven't had a quarterback since. You the truth, Mark Holmes and Jobu. We'll keep spreading that mojo. Thanks, George. All right. So let's try this first call in right now. Okay. The number is 903-345 Jobu, Jobu. So 903-345 Jobu. So I'm looking forward to having our first call and see how that works. So in case you didn't get my voice, let me hold that number up to the camera there. Yes, we're very low tech here, okay? I have to figure out how we could actually imprint on the screen here and get that call number in. So the money about the cap. Well, the thing with Tony Romo counts about $24 million against the cap next year. And with that amount of money, if they end up making him a June 1st cut, we'd say basically about $5.5 million on the cap. But that would be the only hit that we would take. So we would be one and done. If he ends up staying on the team, basically it's $54 million that we are now stuck with for the next couple of years. So we got to definitely address that. And you can see this week will tell you more than anything else how it would be like if Tony Romo were to stay here next year, because the whole inclination will be is you've got that guy sitting on the bench. He's a high price, backup quarterback. He should be playing. But the thing I keep asking, and nobody seems to address this, none of the talking heads from Stephen A. Smith or any of those other guys or Heath Evans is the assumption. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the Jobu Report.
To send a voicemail, press 2. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press
Okay, here we go. Hello, welcome to the Jobu Report. Hello.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so we're in technology challenge. Try that again, Chief, because this is the first call. So we know I'm old, and we know that I suck at this stuff. But as far as the cap goes, we're still in pretty good shape with that. And if we end up getting rid of Tony Romo and saving that cap number, we're going to be able to get some free agents as far as that goes. We'll have to look at the final numbers, and I haven't had a chance to really go through and get those together just yet. But I think we're currently around 5 million right now. So as we release some of these other guys, some of those other contracts and free agents leave, we'll be even in better shape. Should the Cowboys update their logo? Hell no, they shouldn't update their logo. Their logo has been classic. I mean, that is known throughout the world. I would not want to see that logo change. And in fact, I got to tell you, I hate the whole color rush uniforms and all the crap that they're doing. That shit was just putrid when we were watching Seattle last week. It was just terrible. Okay, let's see if I can get this right this time.
To accept, press 1. To send.
Hello, you're on the Jobu Report. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, how are you doing?
How are you?
Not too bad. Your name and where are you from?
I'm from Wayne, Pennsylvania.
Well, thank you for calling. You are our very first caller for the Jobu Report. So what's your question for the night?
I was wondering if Sean Lee will be the defensive comeback player of the year.
Well, technically, he couldn't be. I mean, generally speaking, comeback player of the year would be coming back from injury the year before. And last year, he was actually a Pro Bowl player. Should he be a comeback player? Yeah, definitely. When you look at the season he had, but by the way the rules and stuff are set up, because he was not injured last year, he wouldn't get that. However, I do think he has a good shot at being defensive player of the year, because right now he is second in the league in tackles. I think only 8 behind, and he is literally playing lights out. And as I've talked before, Sean Lee has gotten 56 tackles in the last 3 games, which is unbelievable. That on the team itself is sixth best. So thank you very much for calling, and I hope you call me back another time.
All right, thank you.
Hot dog. We finally did it. Had our first call, and thank you very much for calling in. And what Hall of Fame Cowboys did the playmaker go against in college and win a Super Bowl with? Ooh, Sandman. So now I'm getting trivia questions. Go against in college and win a Super Bowl with. Sandman, I'm not sure on that one. Juan, is Seattle a threat to the Dallas Cowboys? Well, everybody's a threat. Quite frankly, you can lay an egg at any point. You can have a bad game. You can have the ball bounce the wrong way. You can have a wide receiver slip on the ground and you throw a pick that could be a pick 6. So, you can't look at anybody and say, oh, that's a win. It's the playoffs. Anything can happen. I mean, we could have beat Seattle if Tony Romo hadn't fumbled the snap. So, yeah, I still look at it as a threat. Their offense isn't as great as they have been in past, but their defense is still really strong. Okay, Jeffrey, if you want to call in, it's 903. Okay, here we go. Our second call.
Anthony.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hello, Anthony. You're on Jobu's Sports Report. Anthony. Yeah, how are you doing tonight?
All right.
What's your question tonight?
My question, Cowboy Hall of Famer wore number 22 before Emmitt Smith, and is nicknamed the world's fastest human.
Bob Bullet Hayes.
Oh, you got it.
Of course, man. I remember seeing. Okay, I'm so old. I remember seeing him actually play. Okay, but thank you very much, Anthony, for your call, and have a great night. All right, that's pretty cool. So I hope you guys like this whole idea. What I'm probably going to do, I'm using my cell phone right now, and of course, I'm trying to work that as well as the computer, as well as the camera. So being a one-man show, it gets to be kind of tedious. I'll probably end up having somebody in the future that's actually going to answer the calls and put them in a queue as I get set up a little bit better. But if you guys like this stuff, please let me know so that way I know what to keep. Because generally speaking, as I always say to my wife, I'm going to throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. And not everything sticks. And here we go again.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
You're on the Jobu Sports Report. Hello.
Hi, is it Jobu?
This is actually Mark. Jobu's sitting right beside me.
Hey, Richard. I just want to say I'm a great fan of the show, man.
Well, we appreciate that. Do you have any questions for us tonight?
This question is about for Des Bryant.
Yeah.
Will he be a distraction for the next few games? Because, Des Bryant, because Dak Prescott, because when Des was out, Dak Prescott was doing better than he was with Des. So, will it be a problem or will he be better?
Well, I think, okay, one thing, I keep saying that I think part of it was you're playing on the road. The other guys get paid as well. And with the weather being bad, it was just a problem. I mean, Des slipped on that one pass play and ended up, it being an interception. And I think Dak kept trying to force the ball to him. I think what that'll end up doing is hopefully it'll make Des want to play better and get him refocused as well. It was just a bad game all the way around, from the offensive line to the play calling. Everything just could have gone wrong. And I think the team was just due for a game like that. And hopefully this week they get refocused and realize we have to do more than just show up and play. We have to be focused and ready to go. So thank you very much for your call.
Yeah, sure.
All right, and thank you for your support.
Hey, thanks.
Chris White, yeah, Jobu. Yeah, this is Jobu. Ha ha ha. Yeah, this is a lot of fun here, dealing with you guys and stuff. I'm hoping that will become the place that you go for real Dallas Cowboy talk, because the more stuff that you watch, and I watch pretty much as much football stuff as I can, DVR stuff, and I'll check it out when I get home from my day job. And here we go again.
To accept, press 1.
Anthony,
to send a voicemail,
did you call?
press 2.
Welcome to the Jobu Sports Report. Anthony, what can I do for you?
Which Hall of Fame Dallas Cowboy played both offensive and defensive tackle and was a 6-time Pro Bowler and won 2 Super Bowls?
Oh, Lordy, offensive, defensive tackle. I didn't know this was going to be trivia night for me. Oh, you're stumping me now. It had to be old school as a two-way starter, so probably in the 60s. And defensive tackle. You got me on that one. Who are we talking about?
Rayfield Wright.
He played both ways. He sure did. Yeah. You got me. Congratulations on that one. And I appreciate the call. Thank you, Anthony.
Hey, no problem. Take it easy.
Take it easy. Okay, so you guys are out to stump me now. Okay, I got you. I see how that rolls. See? Francis, thank you for liking the show. Bill B, is that Bill Bates? I do a good job. Thank you very much. Some of the other questions? Yeah, I think the way we beat Tampa Bay tomorrow is we need to run the damn ball. Run the hell out of it. When Ezekiel Elliott gets tired, run him some more. When he comes off the sideline, get him some water, get his ass back out there and run his ass some more. And when he can't run anymore, get Alfred Morris out there. Get Lance Dunbar. I want to see them run like they haven't run before. And once that starts working, get back to doing naked bootlegs and rolling Dak out in space. We need to feed Cole Beasley, get the hot sauce going, hit Jason Witten, and just pass the ball around. Stop trying to force feed the ball to Des Bryant. When Des is open, hit them, but don't make that the focal point of trying to do it. Tony Romo did that for too many years of always trying to hit Dez Bryant. And what happens is when you focus on one guy for too much, the defense will start clamping down on you and you're risking losing the ball like we did. And I'm glad to see everybody is agreeing with me. Okay, the number again is 903-345-JOBU. So, well, McFadden has been activated. Now, I haven't seen that he was the number 2 back, but he could be on the game day roster. Yeah, we need to teach the Buck who's the daddy. Again, the number, Jeffrey, is 903-345-JOBU. Now, see, Jobu does not need a girlfriend because, see, Jobu's a player. He can't be tied down. How do you call? Here we go.
To accept, press 1. To send.
You're on Jobu Sports Report. Hello.
How you doing, sir?
Not too bad. You don't have to call me sir. Just call me Mark. Your name and where are you from?
My name is John Wesley.
Nice to meet you, John. What can I help you with tonight?
I'm from H-Town.
Okay. Well, hopefully we'll all be seeing you at the Super Bowl.
I'm sorry?
I said hopefully we'll be seeing all of you at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We're pretty good this season. But anyways, so how do you feel about, just being pretty good on YouTube right now? How do you feel?
I'm sorry, can you say that again, please?
I said, how do you feel about the Cowboys this season? How do you feel about that press conference? What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I got to tell you, teams have given up a hell of a lot to try and get a franchise quarterback to miss. When you look at the Redskins gave up to get RG3, and he's in Cleveland on his last leg, literally. The fact that we got Dak Prescott in the 4th round is a miracle, in the same way that we got Tony Romo as a undrafted free agent. Things like that just don't happen. You have to feel great for that. If he is continued to progress the way he has been, the team could be a force to reckon with for many years to come. The offensive line is young. We finally got the cap in order. We don't have a lot of crazy contracts. I feel great about the team. Even if we don't win the Super Bowl this year, we'll be challenging for Super Bowls for the next, 5-6 years easily.
Yeah, you guys think that you can be in the Super Bowl?
Anything can happen. Anybody can beat you. I think we've got a good shot as anybody else to get there. It's just a matter of which way does the ball bounce.
That's right. Let's finish.
Mm-hmm.
I said, last question, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
How do you feel about the New York Giants going into the season? Pretty tough team. It'll be a pretty tough competition for you guys. How do you feel?
Well, the Giants are always tough, and games in your division are always bad. It doesn't matter if you are, in the basement or not. They're always a dogfight. I think the Giants have some holes as far as their offense goes. Their running game is terrible. I think they've got offensive line problems, and I don't think they score enough points. But they did enough to beat us. I'm not sure how far they'll go in the playoffs. Okay.
All right, man.
Thank you for calling.
All right, well,
Okay, bye. Yeah, I have to agree with you, Chandler. RG3 is done. He's way too injury prone. I mean, when he slides, have you ever seen anybody slide so awkwardly? I mean, it's painful. And one more time with the number. Oh, boy, you guys are really calling in tonight.
To accept, press.
You're on the Jobu Sports Report. What can we do for you tonight? Not too bad. It's Mark, man. What's your name?
My name is Admiral, calling from New Jersey.
Nice to meet you, Admiral. What can we get for you tonight?
Well, every game that Dak Prescott had a bad game,
Mm-hmm.
he focused on Dez Bryant during those games.
Great point.
Because usually Dak Prescott, he looks at so and then he picks the bad games. was one day.
That's true.
He started at 6 and with the Giants. All the interceptions was towards that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if my question is Des Bryant the distraction for Dak Prescott's that game?
Well, you know, you bring up a great point, because both games he only had one reception, and of course he had the fumble there in the end. Hopefully, though, Dak Prescott bounced back the following week, and we'll have the same kind of effect, and maybe we'll start a new streak as well all the way through the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I hate to say it, but, you know, Dez has got me worried between the nagging injuries he's been having, and he's had a lot of drop balls the last 2 years since he's gotten that big contract. So hopefully he can get it back together and be the player that he can be. But right now, I'm not sure he's an elite receiver anymore.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Wow, these calls are getting a lot more calls than I thought. Thank you guys for commenting and coming in here on the show and stuff. Yeah, I'm worried about Des Bryant, because he just doesn't seem to have it like he used to anymore. But I'm hoping that he will be able to get it back together and you know, be that Pro Bowl player that he's always been. Well, Cowboy Chris, pretty much everybody they shut down everybody on our offense. Looking at some of the game films, I'm not sure that it was all Dak's fault, because everybody literally was covered. And some of those third down conversions that everybody is so much saying that, oh, he's not converting third downs. Well, a lot of those were ended up being third and really long because of bad penalties. And whenever we seem to make a good play, you'd have, you know, a great run. All of a sudden, we got a holding call and it gets put back. And now it's 1st and 20. Here we go again. You're on the Jobu Report. Hello, what can we do for you? Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, it's going great. Your name and where are you from?
Joseph from Phoenix.
Well, Joseph, welcome to the Jobu Report. What's your question tonight?
Actually, I just had a comment, probably based on the question at the end.
Okay.
The whole time we've been winning, I've been pouring a shot for Jobu in my own little shot glass. And,
Perfect.
You know,
Yeah.
I finally did the chicken wing thing, and that's when we lost. So
Oh.
stay off the chicken wing.
Did you have the cigar too? Now, don't smoke the cigar.
I actually gave him a black and mild with the chicken wings as well.
Okay. Well, a little truth be told, my wife had been actually out of town for a trip, and she got back and she was real tired, and she came down in the man cave and fell asleep. And for whatever reason, the Cowboys never play well whenever my wife is around. And so I will make
I heard that a couple times on the show.
she was asleep downstairs in the chair, and I didn't want to kick her out. But next week or tomorrow night, guarantee she won't be down here. So don't take the blame, man. Thank you for the call. Oh boy, yeah, we have a lot of fun, and unfortunately, my wife just kind of gives me that crazy eye when I say that. She's like, "I am not a jinx." I'm just like, "You just steal Jobu's mojo." Thank you, Daniel, for joining the show. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, see, Dez needs, and I have to agree with you, Chris. Dez needs to be that guy that he helps to bail him out, you know. And that game, Dez was a liability. 3 of the turnovers ended up happening when Dak was trying to go to the ball to Dez Bryant. So, you know, right now that's not good. You know, you make a couple of good plays, but if you make a whole lot of bad ones, it's not good. You know, I'm torn up on that Detroit Lions game. I'm hoping the Lions win just to shut up the New York Giants fan. We've had so many Giant trolls that have been in here that it's been crazy. So I'd actually like to see the Detroit Lions win. Number, please. 903-345-JOBU. Jobu. Don't blame, you know. But here's the thing about football to me is, and unfortunately the quarterback gets too much credit when a team wins and gets too much blame when they lose. I look at that game all the way around, and it's the Dallas Cowboys that lost that game because bad blocking, bad coaching, drop passes, too many penalties. You can't put that all on one person. It was a team effort. Here we go again. You're on the Jobu Sports Report. Hello. This is Jobu Sports Report. What's your name and where are you calling from?
What's the name I'm calling from?
I said, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Dr. McSteamy. I'm calling from Iowa.
Okay.
Bunch of hot jizz all over my asshole.
Okay. So that was exactly what I'm talking about. You know, kids that just want to be a fool. You can get in, you can talk about anything you want to. Why act like an idiot? I mean, come on, let's be for real. Well, yeah, if the Lions win and the Bucs and we beat the Bucs, we do lock up stuff, so we're definitely rooting for Detroit. Okay, because I wore my Tony Romo jersey last week. Yeah, I agree. Dak needs to go back to what he was doing before, which was hitting the open man and stop trying to get Dez overly involved. And I wonder if you have to also wonder too, with with Dez losing his father, you know, just on a few weeks ago, that he was estranged from, if the reality of that has actually set in. Because it's one thing that you don't have a relationship with your father, but he's still alive and still there. But the finality of that, to know that now I can never have a relationship. You have to wonder if maybe that's a dynamic that is there bothering Dez Bryant. I mean, it's a possibility. It could be on his mind and things like that. Randy Gregory is going to turn the pass rush around. You know, here's my thing about Randy Gregory. I don't think that he is going to be the answer to turn around. Not playing any football for a year, not having training camp. You know, they keep saying that he, of course, is in great shape, but hello, Wilson. You're on the Jobu Sports Report. What can I do for you tonight?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I just had a quick question for you.
Uh-huh.
So obviously, we all a huge Cowboys fan. Do you feel like you guys are going to move forward this year, or you guys are going to going anywhere major this year? How do you feel about that?
Well, you know what? I hope that we could make it to the Super Bowl. Again, there's no guarantees. There's only going to be one team that wins the Super Bowl. But I feel like this team is playing with house money. The fact that we lost Tony Romo beginning of the season, before the season, if anybody said that we were going to be 11-2, you would have said that we were crazy. So when you look at it from that standpoint, I feel like we're playing with house money. You know, I'd hate to see us lose the first round of the playoffs, but I'm hoping that we can make a great run. I would say here's the thing. I have to agree with you about Randy Gregory, and that's what my point was about him before. Rules are rules. Whether or not you think that smoking weed is not a big thing or not, the fact that you failed at the combine, I mean, that is literally the biggest job interview that you're ever going to do. And if the motivation of getting a contract of like $17-18 million versus say $4 million, if that's not a motivating factor for you to stay off the weed, then what will be? Because you've gone through now and basically you haven't been paid jack crap, because every time you get suspended, you're losing those game checks. You get 18 game checks during the season. So when you think about all that money that he has thrown away for smoking weed, what makes you think now he's all of a sudden going to turn it around and do the right thing? You're on the Jobu Sports Report. Hello. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, good evening. My name is Ernie. I'm calling from El Paso, Texas.
Hi, great place. I've driven through there. So what's your question tonight?
Thank you. Well, my question is this. I feel like the last couple of games that the Cowboys have had, the offense hold. Do you think it's more the NFL has the book on us on our offense, or has our play calling been a little too easy?
Well,
maybe too safe?
No, I don't think it's too safe. I think actually what you've been playing is, one, the New York Giants were up for that game. That was literally their Super Bowl, and that was the game that they truly played well at as far as the defense goes. But if you look at their offense, it was one play that killed us. It was that one play by Odell Beckham. And then when you talk about going to Minnesota and playing in Minnesota against one of the top defenses in the NFL, you can't expect to be scoring 30 or 40 points against that. So I think it was the level of competition, the air of Minnesota needing a win to keep their playoff hopes alive, as well as the Giants being a division game. How many times have we played games against the Giants or the Redskins or the Eagles that have gone down to the wire, and they could have gone either way? And that's just what that game was. So thank you very much for calling. Okay. All right, man. Go hard. You're right. He wants to play football. Otherwise, he would pull. Well, yeah. Okay. If you want to play football, then what you do is you do what you're supposed to do. You stop failing tests, because here's the thing. Yeah, you can play. He's going to be able to start practicing on Monday. He's going to be able to possibly play that week and play in the playoffs. But here's the thing. He failed another test and has still hanging over his head a year-long suspension. So why should you reward him for 3 games and playoff checks and everything else when he's about to be banned for a year? I'm sorry. To me, that sends the wrong message to the rest of you guys on the team that are doing the right thing. And I dare say that karma and stuff made a difference for last year. When you saw what happened with Greg Hardy, when you saw with Rolando McClain, even though they're gifted athletes, when they're able to dictate what they're going to do as far as practicing or getting away with stuff or cussing out coaches or being a problem, that sends a message and divides the locker room. So you have to look at the benefit of having that guy out there who only had 11 tackles, no sacks. Is that worth a possible division of your locker room? Here we go. We got a call from Texas. Bob, you're on the Dallas Cowboy. On the Jobu Sports Report. What can we do for you tonight?
All right, how you doing, Dad? I'm calling from Houston, Texas, Dad.
All right, man.
I watch. I don't know if you watch Undisputed, and you hear all these things. It's just real, sad how Dak loses one game. I mean, one game that he really, really played bad. Everybody is down to this kid. I just don't understand it. And you look at Carson Wentz. He's been playing bad, but they still say he's tough dog.
All right.
You look at how that guy from the Rams is playing, and they, he's such a great quarterback.
Right.
And all this other good stuff. And you look at that quarterback from Jacksonville.
Right.
I mean, that dude, I don't think that dude can do something.
Well,
that ball comes out of his hand.
Right. Well, unfortunately, here's the real. I mean, when you think about a team that is 11-2, that you have a quarterback who has only thrown 4 interceptions on the season, who was a 4th-round draft pick, the way he is scrutinized, he is supposed to literally have 30 completions a game and 4 touchdown passes, or he's considered a failure. And unfortunately, it's because it's the Dallas Cowboys. Shows like Undisputed and like First Take, like I always say, are for entertainment purposes. They are like shock jocks because they're trying to get a response. And unfortunately, it's not about being right. It's about getting a response. So you get these guys that'll say, Tony Romo's a better quarterback and he should be put in there without having any facts or numbers or anything else backing it up. It's just a way of getting people to listen to what you have to say. So it is sad. It truly is sad.
Yeah, I don't think Tony Romo would be any better because you look at he hasn't played in almost a year, and you just can't come in. I mean, you might be in great shape, like you were saying earlier, but you just can't come off the bench and get out there and play football. I played football. You played football. You just can't come off the bench and play football.
You're going to be rusty. And the thing I always say is, if he came in, and what happens if he looked terrible that first game like he did last year with, in 2014 against the 49ers? All of a sudden we lose that one. Then do you keep him in there or you can go back to Dak after you basically said, we don't have confidence in you? So to me, it's not worth the risk. And it's gotten so the last couple of years with Tony Romo. Tony Romo is exciting every time he drops back because one of 3 things are going to happen. He's going to run around like crazy, and he's going to make an incredible play that's going to be a touchdown. Or he's going to make a play that says, Tony, oh no. Or he's going to get knocked the hell out. So only one of the things that happens, generally speaking, when he goes back are good things. And that's been him throughout his career. He's exciting to watch, but you hold your breath every time he goes back thinking, is this the one that's going to knock him out for the season? So I appreciate your call, and thank you for supporting the Jobu Report.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I love your report. Every time you pop up, I'm a truck driver. Every time you pop up, I put my phone up there and watch. So, I love your show.
Well, thank you, man. I'll do my best. I'm constantly trying to improve and everything and bring everything good to you guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. I love Dak, but come on, Tony Romo is better. But just your and that's what I say. Okay, it's not a matter of, when Tony Romo's on, he's one of the best in the league. But your best ability is your availability. And if you cannot stay on the field, then you're no good to the team. That's how it is.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
You're on the Jobu Sports Report. Hello, what can I do for you? Your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, this is Jeff from New Mexico.
Hey, Jeff. So what's your question tonight, Jeff?
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
I was a running back in high school, man, and I love Ezekiel Elliott.
Uh-huh.
But my question is more about McFadden. I want to know what you think about McFadden. What do you think about him in the third running back situation?
Well, you know, McFadden had a fantastic season last year. When you think of him being the fourth-rated running back and wasn't the starter until week 4, he definitely has ability. A lot of that was because of the Dallas offensive line, and part of the reason why I believe he stayed healthy last year was he wasn't taking on all the hits back in the backfield, because there's a big difference of being hit when you're getting started by a 300-pound lineman as opposed to getting 3 yards up the field and being hit by a linebacker or a cornerback. So he was able to take less punishment, and he may actually be a good boost for the team because he has fresh legs right now. All right.
Cool.
Thank you very much for your call. Thank you very much for being a fan. I appreciate every one of you guys. And have a great night. All right. Wow. I guess the call thing actually worked out pretty good. I was kind of worried that maybe nobody will want to call and talk to me, but it's actually been pretty good. Here we go again.
Press 1. To send a voicemail.
You're on the Jobu Sports Report. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the Jobu Sports Report.
Can you hear me?
I certainly can. Yeah. What's your name? It's going great. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name's Ricky. I'm from New Jersey.
Mhm.
Giants and Eagles country.
I feel for you, man. I'm in Washington, D.C. in Redskin country.
So I just got a quick question.
Mhm.
Now, I understand. I'm all for Dak. I'm all for whoever is the quarterback. My only question is if Dak continues to play as he's been playing. I'm not saying he is, but if he is, do we consider putting Ronaldo back in, or no? We just continue to ride with Dak even if his play is regressing.
Okay. Now here's the thing. You know, you're the starter until you're not. Now, I don't believe you pull him from one game. So the fact that everybody was out there talking about, oh, he had a terrible game and all that, it's like, look, he only had 2 interceptions in one game. You know, Eli Manning had 3 the week before. You know, Russell Wilson had 5 the week before. But if it ends up being that you can see a dramatic drop off a cliff where his play has truly gone downhill, you know, 3 games maybe, then you say, okay, then it's time to make a change without a doubt. But after one game, and it wasn't like everybody in the team played really well and it was just him. It was all the way around the field. And you can look at a lot of reasons why, you know, things happen. The sack fumble was basically Doug Free didn't block the guy. One of the interceptions was Des Bryant fell down. Some of the plays that were good were called back because of penalties. So you can't say that that's all Dak Prescott. And you have to wonder, with the pressure that the Giants put on, would Tony Romo have made that big a difference? And I'm not sure that he could have.
Yeah.
I think if he had taken a couple of hits that Dak took, that he'd been in the hospital again.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, because I understand, like, I'm not freaking out. Like, I'm like, yeah, let's just see how this goes. Let's just get Dak to understand a little bit more. But I wasn't in that mentality, like, oh, snap, we got to put Romo.
Right.
Oh, no. Because that's how you can differentiate the fake fans from the real fans. Real fans will ride with the team. I'll support. Yeah, like if the team decided to go back to Tony, I would have supported the team. I would have thought it was weird, but that's.
Oh yeah, the bottom line is I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm gonna root for the team regardless. It may not be that I like what you're doing, but I'm not gonna all of a sudden turn in my Dallas Cowboy card either.
I got you.
Yeah. So thank you for your call, man, and good luck in Giants and Eagle country, man. I feel for you.
Thank you.
Oh boy. Yeah. So I again, it was just a bad game, and it's not like other quarterbacks don't have bad games. Carson Wentz has been having bad game after bad game after bad game, but nobody talks about anybody other than Dak. And it's almost funny because as you watch the for entertainment purposes only shows, as I like to call them, the only team that ever has problems is the Dallas Cowboys. Sometimes you feel like the Dallas Cowboys are the NFL because I know that there are other problems. Look what Derek Carr did against Kansas City. And, the Cowboys lost the game to the Giants, but they didn't lose anything as far as playoffs. Everything is still in front of them. What happened to the Raiders when they went to Kansas City? They may have lost the division. They lost being in second seed in the NFL for the playoffs, which means that they will literally have to go on the road and play everybody. They may have to play in New England. They may have to play in Kansas City. They are going to be on the road, So that is a problem, but nobody's talking about that. Nobody's saying, who's Derek Carr? Okay, should he have been benched? Wow, okay. Sorry, I'm not getting to these calls. You guys are calling too fast. I can't keep up with them. Some of these other questions. Nobody's saying that Tony didn't do anything. And, here's the interesting thing with some of the guys out there that
Press 1 to send a voicemail.
you're on the Jobu Sports Report. Hello. Hello. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Well, welcome to the Jobu Sports Report. What's your question for tonight? I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question. Yeah. Well, I don't think I think the Cowboys will win tomorrow night, and I think that they should win actually pretty handily. I think that they're going to come out with a vengeance after all the talk and everything of this week. I think the team will be focused and will come out and blow Tampa Bay away. That's my thoughts. Stephen A. Smith, it's funny because he was touting how proud he was of the New York Giants, but the week before he was talking to Giants players and saying he hopes that they lose to the Cowboys because he's worried about beating them in the playoffs. So he is like a fair weather fan or a sail in the breeze. He's going to go whichever way it suits him and makes him look like he's smart, but he's really an idiot. Thank you for calling. You guys are calling too quick. I can't keep up, man. And I'm going to have to get a switchboard operator here to help me out. You know what? Back to roots. I hope you're right on that one, that Dak Prescott wins more playoff games than Tony Romo has his whole career. Woo, wouldn't that be interesting? Should we resign Carr, and what will Gregory do? Well, Gregory will probably end up practicing, and they're going to see what they can get out of him. Brandon Carr would be interesting. You're on the Jobu Sports Report. Hello? Hello? Okay, we missed that one. Sorry. I'm still trying to work this, get it through there. Brandon Carr doesn't miss games. Brandon Carr is not a bad cornerback, although he's getting up there in age. He's a solid citizen, great as far as the team and working in the community and things like that. He shouldn't have a contract as big as what he had. And it's actually amazing because he's one of the few cornerbacks that have actually gotten their whole contract. Because generally what happens is most of those big-name cornerback contracts end up being released 2 years later. You're on the Jobu Sports Report. Hello. Yeah. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Mike from Indiana.
Well, hello, Mike. What's your question for tonight?
Actually, you're okay. At least two. Do you think Romo's going to leave in the offseason?
Well,
And
okay.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. And what else?
Do you think they're going to keep Terrence Williams and Cole Beasley like a little bit more rules and go away from theirs a little bit?
Well, okay, the first question with Tony Romo. I think Tony Romo, one, doesn't want to be a distraction, and I don't think he likes being in the position of hearing this all week long, should he play or should he not play. I don't think that that whole situation is good for anybody. From what I've been told or what I've been hearing is he's asking the team to just be released as opposed to being traded, so that way he can pick the team that he wants to go to. And rumors are that he'd like to play in Arizona or Denver or Miami. So I think one way or the other that he's going to end up being gone. Because, again, at this point in his career, he doesn't want to be a backup. He wants a chance to try and win that ring on his own. And I can't say that I blame him. And I don't think anybody likes the position that they're in. You know, Dak having to look over his shoulder and what is Jerry Jones going to say? And Tony Romo being basically, you know, oh, he should be in, shouldn't be in. It's not good for anybody. As far as Terrence Williams, I think the Cowboys will re-sign Terrence Williams. And Cole Beasley, of course, I think Cole Beasley is a fantastic receiver, so you've got to hold on to him. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, I mean, we have some great young players. One of the things that New England, and I hate to always use New England as an example, but New England is that team that always is good. And what they realize is when you look at that team, you only have Tom Brady, and then you have everybody else. Those Super Bowl years, you don't have a whole lot of Pro Bowl players that they have because they realize what we have to do is you find young talent that's good, you let them play for 3 or 4 years, and when it's time to pay them, you let them move on, and you draft somebody else just as good. You're on the Jobu Sports Report. Hello.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, how are we doing? Your name and where are you calling from?
This is Lee Brandon. I'm from Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Well, welcome to the Jobu Sports Report, Lee. What can we do for you tonight?
How do you think the Cowboys should do on like defense, in terms of defense?
Well, I think on the defensive side, I think we're going to keep trending down. The great thing about the Dallas Cowboys is they're 5th in the league in points given up with 18.3 points a game. But over the last 3 games, they've only been giving up 17. So they have been actually getting better and better, regardless of what you hear from the talking heads. Because all you hear with the misinformation that they give you is that the only reason why their defense is doing good is because their offense controls the ball. Well, quite frankly, over the last 3 games, the offense has only held the ball for 27 minutes. So the defense has had to be on the field even longer because we're not winning the time of possession. And I dare say that defense each week is going to get better and better. And come playoff time, if we get Morris Claiborne back, they're going to be somebody to reckon with. All right? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much for calling, Lee.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the defense is actually going to end up being really good because, again, you know, you always keep hearing about the Dallas Cowboys 16th ranked defense. But you know what? You can throw all the other stats out. The bottom line is the only one that really matters is how many points did he give up? And they're not telling you the way that defense is designed. See, if you had a great pass rusher that's in there, you may blitz more because you feel that we're going to be able to get to the quarterback. Well, without having that great pass rusher, Rod Martinelli figures my better bet is to have more people in coverage, which means I'll go ahead and give up short pass plays, but I'm not going to give up the real deep, big ones. And if you look at the numbers, they're not giving up a lot of really big pass plays.
To accept, press 1.
You're on the Jobu Sports Report. Hello. Yeah, how are you doing, and where are you calling from tonight? Hot damn. And your name? Oh, okay. A two-time caller. All right. What else can we answer for you? Okay.
I like how we got Jalen Smith. That's not protection.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Jalen Smith, I know you didn't play this year, but I think he has protection would be a great defensive player for the Cowboys.
Oh, I think he definitely is. The thing about Jalen Smith that a lot of people didn't think about, because they said it's a wasted pick, I think they were looking at Rolando McClain being on the team this year and then replacing him with Jalen Smith. And at that point, after you've gotten Ezekiel Elliott, you're kind of playing with house money and figured you could take a chance on that, because if he comes through, you got a first-round talent guy in the second round. So, you know, it's a gamble because you don't know that knee would come back. But from what we're hearing, it's beginning to fire, and he should be ready to go next year. And I am very happy with our defense where they are. It's a bend, don't break defense, and I think we'll be okay come playoff time with that defense. All right? Thank you very much for calling again. Yeah, I feel good about our defense because when you start looking at the playoff teams that are most likely that you're going to end up playing, I mean, you've got Seattle, not great on offense. You've got the Giants, not great on offense. You have Atlanta, but Atlanta's got problems with Julio Jones with that turf toe. Turf toe is one of those things that's a nagging injury. And if you've never played football with AstroTurf, when you jam that toe, and it doesn't sound like much, you can't push off. And it's one of those things that when you play, it just gets worse and gets aggravated. So that's one of those injuries that could definitely hurt them. So there's not a lot of great offensive teams that are going to be in the playoffs other than the Redskins. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Let's get back to some more of your questions here. Well, you know, it's, again, that bend, don't break offense, defense is what's working for the Dallas Cowboys because they're not giving up the points. You're going to end up giving more yards. It's almost like a prevent defense. You're keeping everything in front of you so that way you're not giving up that big play. And that's one of those things that you just don't see the Cowboys doing this year. It's starting to fire. Where did you get that information from? Okay. Oh, yeah, I heard the Tapper it will be on the roster tomorrow, and he should be playing. Yeah, the Jets, well, the Bills definitely, I've heard that rumor, want Tony Romo, but I'm not sure that Tony Romo wants to go to Buffalo. I'm not sure I'd want to go to Buffalo, you know, with, you know, Rex Ryan there and probably being fired, and then you got somebody else coming in, so you don't know what kind of situation it is. And I got to tell you, I've been to Buffalo, but Buffalo's a place that you really don't want to live. I mean, that's snow up there. There's not a whole lot to do unless you go across the Niagara Falls to Toronto. I just can't see Tony Romo wanting to be there. Yeah, hopefully we get the running game going and tomorrow and just go ahead and take care of business against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is not a great offensive team right now. So we'll see how that goes. This is going to be our last caller for tonight.
Cowboy Miller.
What's up, Cowboy? Where are you from?
Hey, how you doing? This is the Cowboy Miller. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, by way of New Jersey.
Well, hello. I'm doing fantastic, man. What can we do for you tonight?
Well, what I want to was lost in the shuffle too. With that giant game on the level of the big. That Barry Church had 2 clean interceptions.
Oh, yeah.
Which would actually totally change the whole complexion of the game. So if they were dragging us around, that's different. But that was a game that we should have won. I'm not afraid to see them in the playoffs because I think that with the different conditions, I think our guys play well. Also, too, was lost the shuffle.
Yeah.
That there is it's always being grabbed. And being held. You look at the top of each route, it's been calls, but they won't call it.
True.
Odell Beckham's and boy up in Pittsburgh, they get the benefit of those calls every single time.
Right.
Because they have the physical, okay, you should be able to read those. So now the other night, it was good reacher, right? He slipped and fell. That was a heck of an interception made by the quarterback. But nothing. But don't be fooled by the facade that these guys are supersonically great, because if he had clue in his hands and went for that task, we'll beat those guys pretty bad in their own place. So the fact that everybody now is down on that, that's a bad game offensively.
Yeah.
Some of the holding penalties, if you call them evenly on both sides, that score would probably been nothing.
Oh, good, very true. And it's amazing how that everybody is down on Dak Prescott, and Eli had 3 turnovers and should have had 7. So it was just a bad night for quarterbacks. But right, you don't hear anybody talking about that. It's just, the New York Giants, they're the team to beat. Get out of here. They don't have an offense. They don't have a running game. They have Odell Beckham, and that's it. Yeah.
Odell Beckham on the third and 1, the 4th and 1. I mean, the record is standing right there. So I say, so if you look at those things, I look at the whole season as a microcosm. I'm happy about this season. I'm ecstatic. I'm enjoying the ride. But think about this. Last year, this time, playing out the
I don't want to think about last year this time.
Now, this year, we're in a place, we can put ourselves in a position. I'm like you. I believe tomorrow we're going to come out here and really step to Tampa Bay, beat up on them, and I'm actually thinking that Detroit is going to take care of the Giants, and then we're going to be positioning next week. But I think that all these Cowboy fans just sit back, take a breath, relax, and let us drive this thing.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, because I remember week after week talking about the Dallas Cowboys after another loss and how pathetic our team looked. Even in that loss, the games are exciting. You feel like we're never out of any game. It's just been thrilling to watch. And especially when the NFL realizes that the Cowboys are the only thing that's in town, we need to put them in prime time every week. It's been actually a fantastic.
I'm annoyed with that. I want to see my boys at 1 o'clock. But think about this, even in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Think about this. There's a penalty, a questionable face mask call that took away the interception in their territory.
Right.
Also a questionable penalty on the other side of a play that took away a 45-yard run. So I tell people, before you start thinking about how bad we look or how bad that was, you need to start looking at what's going on and causing some of these things that force those.
Right.
He completed a 1st and 30 one time, which was unheard of.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you cannot do that consistently when you're playing against better defenses on the road.
Right.
When you have officials that are looking for certain things. Because I think now they look at number 89 to hold. They look at what they watch him to see, because they know he's not a strong blocker. So what they do is there's somebody that's specifically watching him, because even on that holding play, which was to me was negligible, you could have said, okay, that didn't affect the play. It did not affect the play.
Right.
So why call it? But on that kickoff by Cromartie, there was a holding back there, which was not called.
Yeah.
It brought that thing back to like the 20, within the 20. And so when I tell people this, I look at the game, and I look at how we're playing, then I look at how the game is being called. And when you look at how the game is being called, you have to look at what's really happening here. Is our guys being that horrible, or is it the fact that we're getting a little bit of home cooking, which is times can occur.
They definitely got some home cooking in there.
I'm so proud of the way the defense is playing.
I'm
so proud of the way the guys are playing. I'm so proud of the way Dak is playing, because, like you said, Dak is rolling out of control. That's 20 to 4. I like that. But Carson Wentz, who's supposed to be Mr. All World, I have all the vegetables. He's a ball.
Right. Yeah.
If he has his chance every time to complete to bring his team back, in 3 attempts, he's went home 3 times.
Yeah.
So you have a good starting point. I mean, you're not starting to work.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for the call, and have a great night. Yeah. I'm extremely proud of the team. Like I said, we're 11-2. We went from 4-12 to 11-2. You can't ask for more than that. I mean, that's a hell of a turnaround. So the Dallas Cowboys, to me, they're playing with house money. If they don't win the Super Bowl, I'm not going to be mad about the season, because I enjoy each and every game every week. Now, I've got to get a shout out to my JMU Dukes. who beat North Dakota State and will be in the Division 1AA National Championship. So hopefully they can get their second national championship. So that's hats off to my JMU Dukes. But guys, I've got to wind this up. No more calls for tonight. We are done. I've got some work to do. I've got to spend some time with my wife, and I've got to get ready for some more videos in the morning. You guys are freaking fantastic. I love doing the call-ins, and I got to thank you guys for watching, subscribing, and commenting on the Jobu Report, because without you guys, this would be nothing. And I'm going to continue to try and make this thing better, make it more interactive for all of us, and hopefully we can see our Dallas Cowboys in Super Bowl. And if they're there, Jobu's report support will be there with them. I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Jobu, and thank you as always for watching. Now, unfortunately, I have to go back, and I can't just end it just like that. So I look like a jackass as I'm talking to cut it off. And here we go. Bye-bye. Okay. Bye.